All right, far away, Jabin. You were first on, so I'll let you crack on and ask the first question.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Lewis Crocker, welcome to Australia. I think more importantly, how's it feel to firstly be in Australia and defending your belt for the first time in this country?
Yeah, so we got it over here well over a week now, like so. We got out here pretty early, get settled in, and it's been great. Been helping. I know Connor Wallace from Ireland since like the national team and stuff, and he was able to set us up with a lot of things and help us out and stuff. So with the boys down in Fortitude, who's helped out with the gym etc. and stuff. So yeah, everything's been great, and I'm looking forward to the fight and. First time in Australia, and it's a lovely city.
Was it a surprise to you that you had your first defence away from home, or more importantly, away from Matchroom? They didn't win the purse bid, and that would have been news to you.
Well, yeah, because the obviously like it was a voluntary was going on and stuff. So I would have thought it was going to be Belfast, but then when Park became voluntary, I knew there was a chance that it wasn't going to be Australia. But it is what it is, and Australia, as I say, like as a kid. You'd want to be like you would think of dream of stuff like this, like being a world champion and fighting abroad, fighting Australia and stuff. So, yeah, it's great.
What have you made of Liam Paro, especially at 147?
Liam Paro was a great fighter. I remember when he first came onto my radar was when he won the world title at light welter because I just remember seeing the build up and I was like, I was actually rooting for him because he was such a big underdog and that guy had like, all his fights were knockouts, but I never looked down the lane and was like, I'm gonna be fighting him and stuff. So, Liam's a great operator and he'll not want to let his fans down next week. So, I'm expecting a tough test.
He was calling himself the Croc Hunter. I'm sure you're well across the Irwin family here and his thoughts on that as well. Is he hunting the Croc next
Well,
Wednesday night?
mate, I've been 10 years a pro now. You'd only be about the sixth or seventh person to be called a croc hunter during my career. So, it is what it is. It's funny because it's Australia as well. Like so, whatever builds a fight.
Well, speaking of that, one person who's certainly been in your corner, obviously, is your promoter, Eddie Hearn. But his thoughts on this fight is that it's a straight up smash and grab, just come in, knock him out, get in the plane, go home. Do you see the fight being that easy for you? Like, he's certain that you're just coming here to roll the guy.
Oh, look, Liam's a great fighter, an all-round great fighter. So he is. So ideally, that would be the way to do it. But we're prepared for every situation, and we've worked hard over camp, and yeah, ready to put on the best performance of my career.
What has he got, do you think, is some of his strongest assets?
Well, he's experienced. I guess his 29th fight maybe. So he's been around, former world champion, obviously. Been in with some of the biggest names about as well. So he's a tough guy, great boxer, just great fundamentals and overall. So I'll have to be my best.
Yeah. All right. I'll let others go and then I might jump back in.
Awesome, thanks, Jabin. Jay, I'll pass over to you.
Yeah, hey mate. I know you spoke of the opportunity to fight here in Australia and how nice that is, but is there any part of you that's somewhat annoyed that, Eddie sort of lost that purse bid and, you as the champion has to travel abroad? I mean, I'm sure there is some disadvantages to fighting overseas.
Well, I mean, like I made more money out of it at the end of the day. Australia paid the most money, so it did. So like as a prize fighter, like I gotta be upset at that as well. And my last fight was in my hometown stadium fight that Eddie got me where I won the world title. So like for me, like winning the world title will never be as good anywhere else than doing that last time. So I'm all happy to fight abroad and it builds the legacy. Plus, Par was the odds on favourite here. He's the everyone's coming to see him and stuff. So I went through that last time, so I did. So it takes a bit of like ease off my mind as well, like so it does. So I'm prepared.
He's only had that one fight at welterweight. Have you seen that fight? And there were people that said he struggled at the weight. What were your thoughts? Do you think your size will be an advantage in this one?
Yeah, I seen that as fight at welterweight, and I'm preparing that he's going to be the best welterweight that I've ever fought. That's the way we're looking at him. So, um, Pop Up wouldn't be really that big of a welterweight either. So it'll be interesting to see.
And just your thoughts of, you're here quite early, why you came out here so early, and you spoke before about Connor Wallace and that sort of training. What's the training look like day to day here as well?
Yeah, listen, we knew we had to come early as well because it was, such big travel and stuff, and we wanted everything to be perfect, which it has been, God willing and stuff. So, um, yeah, get here early, get settled in. We're training with a couple of gyms here, so we do our setup in our apartment block as well has a state of the art facility gym, so we're using that at night times, and we're using the gyms the day, vice versa and stuff. So, Jimmy, my manager, Jimmy Conlon, and Matchroom and stuff, and everyone's on the ball and prepared the best.
Obviously fully focused on this fight, but have you given any thought to, I guess, the doors that open up when you win this fight? There's lots of big names in the division. Where do you see yourself? Granted, you get the win in this one.
Look, I think it would be disrespectful to start calling names out and stuff now. The Paro, because Paro is a great operator, but we're both aware that the big names at the welterweight division, and there's huge fights to be made there for me if when I win and stuff. So yeah, I'll just wait until after the fight for stuff like that.
And last one from me, obviously another big fight here in Australia, Tszyu-Spence. Any predictions, any thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, it's a mega fight. Obviously two stars of the sport. It'd be interesting to see how Spence is going to come back, but what'll be interested and definitely watching for sure.
Nice one. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks. And Tris, round us out, mate.
Lewis, good to see you, mate.
Good man.
So do you feel like there's a bit of it's funny with you being over there, but do you feel like there's a bit of an Irish boxing renaissance now? Obviously, you got Peter O'Leary fighting in Dublin the week after, you got Zuffa boxing with Callum Walsh, and then you got Katie's fight. Like, do you feel like everything's swinging back to Ireland a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I remember when I first turned pro, from him, he was the main man, but he was sort of the only one there, at the start stage really as well. But now you have Kakachi, current world champion, myself as well, and you've so many shows every other week, on major broadcast stations as well. So I think it's at an all-time peak right now.
Yeah, does it feel surreal that we're talking about all the stuff that's popping off over there and you're all the way over there? Obviously, everything's, each fight's different, individual with its dealings and the deal makings and stuff, but it's kind of weird that everything's going off over there and you're all over in Ireland and you're over there.
Yeah, well, I'm over here with a world championship fighting in a huge show. Do you know what I mean? So plus as well, it's meant to be winter over here. Your winter's better than our summer, so it is as well. So I can't really complain about being over here.
Hey, you changed obviously team after the last fight. Why was it the right time for you to make some changes?
I just felt there was certain stuff that maybe I could be better at, and stuff, and the way I am right now, it's obviously all worked out. So I'm looking forward to showing my new and improved self.
How has life changed significantly? Obviously, with you being from up north in Scotland and now you're down south, is it a different way of life? Are you living life differently, or is it still a case of just eat, sleep, train, repeat, just in a different location?
Yeah, pretty much. The thing I know much more people from the new gym as well. Of Kieran Malloy, who I used to be maybe when we were junior and youth, we used to share a room for Ireland, representing and stuff. So I live with him now, so a lot more familiar faces will be in the gym, and obviously if like Josh Kelly's in the gym, Harm Eubank, Kurt Walker and stuff. So all the boys train together. It's good.
Is that something that you missed when you were in Scotland?
No, my setup in Scotland was great as well. I just thought maybe it was too comfortable at stage and stuff, and I really pushed myself this camp. I'm looking forward to it.
And what's H brought to you as a fighter?
He's been on the ball. He's worked me super hard. So he has. From the first minute I led, got in the gym with him. We did the iPod up, and he's putting in all the structure. And then we could see like all the numbers like increasing over the time and stuff. And he's very like good with keeping in track everything and when to do this, when to do that and stuff. So everything's been great.
I was at the Donovan fight with Karen in Germany recently, and your name keeps coming up there. Like, do you feel like there's inevitability that your paths will cross a third time?
Yeah, look, we'll see what happens after this fight. The only person I'm thinking about right now is Liam Paro, but we'll talk about that after the fight.
People do, I fully appreciate that, but what I'm getting at is people are talking about like you and Donovan in the future, and it might not be next, it might be years from now, but like it could be the biggest all-Irish fight in history.
Our last fight was the biggest All Irish fight in Irish history, anyway. It was the first All Irish world title fight, especially one of that magnitude. So that's hands down the biggest All Irish fight, anyway. So I've already won that matter, but I understand that the next one could be even bigger. Well, it couldn't get bigger for me since as I say, like that history defining moment and stuff. So look, we'll see what happens.
Did you watch him?
I've seen clips.
Did you like what you see? Were you impressed with what he did?
Yeah, he's a good fighter. Do you know what I mean? Got the job done. He got what needed to be done.
Yeah. And obviously Jay mentioned it as well, there are big names in the division. I know you're not going to call any out. Obviously there are like the likes of Conor Ben, Romero, Garcia and that. This win, should you get through Paro, like the possibilities must be really exciting. And I know you say, obviously you can't look beyond Paro and that would be a fine win in its own right, but it also unlocks some massive nights for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's life-changing opportunities. Getting past this fight, so of an export champion to beat here, and then it's like the doors really open up for me. So they do. So really focused for Paro, but I'm aware of what's around the corner.
Do you have like a bucket list moment? Obviously, given what you achieved with Paddy in the last fight out in the stadium, what's the next level up from that?
Beating Paro next week.
I like it. Nice. Thanks, Lewis. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks, Lewis. Thanks for your time. See you in a couple of days, and all the best for the final week of camp before fight night.
Perfect. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
everyone.
Thank you.